Hey everyone, Erin from the Impatient Gardener. Welcome to another unedited garden stroll where we stroll around my garden. I talk to you about what's happening here, show you the good, bad, and ugly, and see what's changed since the last week. And I wanted to start at the best part of the garden, which is the espalier Belgian fence. Now I can put links to this if I get around to it, but I grew this Belgian fence from whips. I think this is our 5th growing season of it. And it's, well, right now it's at its absolute splendor. So let me show you that and then we'll walk around from there. So this is royal raindrops crab apples that have been espaliered into this sort of diamond pattern, which is called Belgian fence. And it is in full bloom right now. And I mean, I can't actually, I mean, it did great last year too, but I think when I started this, I had no idea it would really be this good. This side, the fence, the diamond pattern's better. We've got one little tree that has been not quite performing up to the others. So, but this, you know, just amazing. Some of these are just covered in flowers. It's stunning. So love it so much. All right, let's move through the garden here. The apple tree is also in kind of at the end stages of its flower. This is an espaliered apple. This is Liberty. I bought the apple tree and the pear tree that's behind me. Those were already espaliered when I bought them. The Belgian fence I did myself. Lettuces that I planted, gosh, I don't know how long ago. They're doing great. These are all Salanova lettuces. My little pattern looks pretty good. And the clematis that we repotted is looking amazing. And I just want to point out, so this is new growth right here. Goes all the way up to there. That's since I repotted it. The trees have pretty much all leafed out fully just here in the past, well, in the past week, really. It's just amazing what a difference. I feel like now we're really making that move into summer. Most of the spring flowering bulbs are done. And there is so many things to do in the garden, of course. I think I've showed you this area in another one of these videos. Oops, there's me, shadow. But the Carex pennsylvanica has filled in so well. I so wish there weren't lily of the valley popping up all over there. I guess I need to deal with it at some point, but I just can't get over how this is just a carpet of Carex pennsylvanica now. I love it so much. This is Zizia. This is what is it? Great Alexander's something. Sweet Alexander's something. Anyway, it reseeds quite a bit, which is why there's so much of it around, but it's a great spring flowering plant. Just starting to bloom now. So soon it will be really beautiful, and then I will have to cut the flowers off so we don't get any more flowers. I feel like we've walked over the same pile of grass in about the last 4 videos. Oh my. I think birds live underneath that bridge because every time I walk over it, that happens. This is crested surf Japanese painted fern. And it's just kind of up now. It has these frilly little edges. Awfully pretty through here. Actually, even though this area could use, you know, some weeding and whatever, I think it looks pretty good. The daffodils are all done here. I will come through here and cut this foliage down anytime now. They come back just fine for me, even if I cut the foliage back early. Over here in the shade garden, the Solomon seal is flowering, which is so delicate and pretty. Last week I showed you this spot where this Dawn's Early Light hosta was blooming next to, or was getting leaves next to the Brunnera. Still pretty, but so much bigger than it was last week. Here's a little backlit shot of that Solomon seal. And here is the red trillium. The last of those to bloom. I think one of them is lutea. That might be lutea. There's the yellow trillium back there. We still have some whites. This is what happens with the whites as their blooms fade. They get tie-dyed, which is so cool. The tricolor beech is, oh, first of all, I just want to stop here. I was walking up this path right here today, and this hosta was here, and I do not remember this hosta being giant like this last year. I don't know, I just was working over, I don't have any recollection of that enormous hosta there last year, but it sure is big. Tricolor beech has fully leafed out. And this is really when it gets its best color, because it does scorch a little bit, but very pretty. And it goes well with really the best color echo there is with the crabapple. I think this is coral burst. And the flowers are not open yet, or just barely starting to open, but I think you can see it's going to be covered. This is just a little bit. This is going to be covered in flowers. It's going to be so good. So this tree we do buy trees for our animals, sort of as memorial trees. And this tree we bought for our Newfoundland Rita. But we bought it before she passed away, so we actually have a picture of her sitting underneath it, and it's really sweet to see how it's grown, and we do think of her. There's something very interesting going on with this garden, and I think I'm going to make a video about it tomorrow, so I hope you see. But I'll just show you this. This plant was looking kind of weak, and a lot of plants have died in here. And there's nothing on there. There are no roots whatsoever. So I have an idea what's happening there, and we'll talk about that then, because it's not a great topic for now. I showed you these last weekend. This is Glow Girl Spirea. And I think I still say this is why this is one of my very favorite spireas. You know, the daffodil foliage is really kind of a drag right now, especially because I haven't deadheaded them. I think things will look a lot nicer when that's done. Don't know if I showed you the quince last week. This area needs some attention, big time. But this is double take peach quince. Gosh, is it pretty. It looks just like a rose. In fact, my phone told me it was a rose when I was doing an image search. We have well, I'll show you the plant situation, but I have more stuff in the basement that has to come out. It's bad. I did crank out a fair amount of planting today, but we need to put a move on with that. I haven't worked in this bed yet. This is the bed that I created last year over here. Kind of stuck it out to make some sense. Whatever, it was part of the larger design concept. I'm gonna bump out this edge just a little and probably edit out some of this lamium. People think that, you know that I love a ground cover. And some people will say, oh, that's so aggressive, or it's invasive, and a lot of people will say that about lamium. But I don't get what the problem is with just cutting it out where you don't want it. Like, that's my thing. Like, I think like the lamium's gotten a little aggressive in there, so I'm probably just gonna pull some of it out. I don't know, not a big deal to me. The lady's mantle along here is just starting to bud up. It's all filled out. As I mentioned last week, when I redid this edge of this bed, I wanted to simplify it, and I'm happy I did. I think it looks really good in this way. And I showed you June hosta last week, and you're going to see it again, because that is the best hosta. End of story. Other hosta that is very good is Earth Angel, which grows here in, a lot of sun, actually. It's pretty late in the day here, so it's hard to get you a good indication of what that looks like, but I do have a clematis that grows up this tree here, which is flopping all over. I need to sort of prop it up. This tree is a problem. This is Picea engelmanni blue magoo, grown from probably a foot tall plant, maybe 2 foot tall plant. No, a foot tall plant. It keeps the branches keep dying from the bottom, and I think it's needle cast. I didn't think that needle cast, which is a fungus that affects primarily blue spruce, I didn't think engelmanni was one of those. But every time I cut the branches off the bottom, it just happens to the next layer. So something might have to happen there eventually. Not this year. I wanted to show you, first of all, we are very close to allium blooming here. Do you see all this ratty foliage? I'm going to cut that all off. This is purple sensation, right? Most of these have seeded themselves here. I'm going to cut that foliage off. It doesn't care whatsoever. It looks ratty as heck. Some alliums have nice foliage. That one is not one of them. This is the Kinsley's Ghost honeysuckle, which is now putting up all its shoots. And so I twine this thing all around itself. So I will need to go in there and do some twining. The boxwoods are so fluffy, have put on so much growth. I just fertilized them last week, so that would be why they're doing this. So they put on all this fluffy growth, and then I will prune them at the end of May. Okay, so we had to create like overflow storage for plants. So that's over here. I set up a table just to keep plants on because I was losing them. Like I knew I had them, but I couldn't find them. It's real bad. Then there's all these. Maybe I can get more of those taken care of tomorrow. We'll see. Oh, the spring planter. I do want to show you the spring planter over here because it's actually looking just amazing, at least in my opinion. I mean, look at all the, let me get you in there closer. Look at all the pansies are really flowering well now. The curly willow that I wrapped around this like sphere obelisk is rooting, and so it's starting to leaf out, which I actually think is really pretty. So I will actually, this is so pretty that obviously I have a lot of other things to do. I think I'm probably going to just hold off on planting this container for a little bit just so I can keep enjoying this really pretty display here. Just behind here, I'm lined up this way for you. This Acer Shirazawam Moonrise is looking so, I don't ever remember it being quite this orange before. It's a stunner, and it's bigger. It's really put on some growth. I'm really tickled with how that is growing here. I planted that in a video and it was small. I mean, it's amazing to see some of these things that I showed you guys on videos now really looking like proper plants. I think I showed you I showed you the geums last week. You're gonna see them again because they look good. I am gonna go in here and edit out some of these purple alliums. There are too many. Editing is called for. I also have, this is Thalictrum black stockings, which is actually about to flower. This was the first Thalictrum I got, and it got me started on my Thalictrum obsession. But you can see why they call it, I think you can see why they call it black stockings. The stems are purple. It's charming and lovely, and I don't know what else you could ask for with it. Oh, I did want to show you, sorry for the vacuum noise. I have to give people a ride tomorrow, so Mr. Much More Patient is vacuuming out my car. This is I think this is a low mound aronia starting to bloom. Really pretty. This is over in the mixed hedge next to the neighbors. So pretty. This is the bird's nest spruce, which has a lot of new growth on it, which is really pretty. I mean, it's such a weird blob, but it's very pretty. Those are more glow girls over there. And then this is Fothergilla, Legend of the Small. This is the sort of the dwarf one. It's a proven winners plant. All flowering really, really, really pretty. I think a lot of people on the YouTube channel, actually commenters, were the ones who said you got to get some Fothergilla. And I'm so glad you did, because I love this plant. It's beautiful. And the flowers are gorgeous on it. So this is actually looking good. I've been kind of paying attention to how much new growth the evergreens have. You can obviously see on some better than others. Like that, you can see a little bit of candling starting there. That's great. I want to see growth. I'm a little concerned that the hemlock doesn't seem to have a lot of new growth. I don't know. I hope the hemlock's happy, because it's really the tree I like the most. So I'll just give you sort of an evening shot here. Oh, here. I don't know if this is going to end up in a video so you can see it. I did just now plant this one little corner of the circle garden. So this is a mix of mini watermelon coleus and cherry cordial surefire begonia. That begonia I love. And I hope they just fill in. It got huge last year. This is my Fizzy Mizzy Itea. There are 6 or 7 of them here. I am underwhelmed. Someone told me they don't grow well here. I can't imagine why that would be, but it doesn't seem to be growing well. This is such a pretty view, even though I've seen a lot of Lily of the Valley. How often have I talked about that in these videos? This is such a beautiful view through here when it's all backlit. And boy, is the sweet woodruff happy. Fortunately, sweet woodruff is another one of those ground covers that is not too difficult to get rid of. But boy, when it's happy, it is happy. This is, this hosta is, I see deer, look. Look at those bare stems. This is hosta. What's the giant hosta? Not Jurassic. What is it? Well, whatever. That's what it is. It's never gotten that big because it's a little bit young, but also it's planted underneath a tree. So I really need to, I just water it every time I happen to think of it that I'm walking by. You know, as I look at this border, I realize it's well, first of all, some of this stuff, again, is a Lily of the Valley, but I feel like we are getting a bit crowded in here. So I probably need to divide some things and amend. That's what this year is about, is sort of amending and changing and refining things. There are some really good moments in here though. I mean, this beautiful, I don't know what painted fern that is, but it's bright purple. It's beautiful. You know, in the hostas, we've still got some hellebore flowers, the epimediums over here. I mean, there are good moments here for sure. And I do appreciate them. I do need to perhaps edit a little. And I do love this Solomon seal. All right, that's it from me from a long day in the garden, which was great. I was thrilled about it. It was really, really nice to spend a day really hunkering down in the garden and cranking things out, because I get a little cranky when I have a lot of sort of things hanging out there pending. So it felt good to do a lot of gardening today. With any luck, you'll see a lot of videos this week. I do have a lot of stuff in the can. I've sort of gotten to that point where I start getting backed up on editing, but I hope you'll watch them. Something strange is happening with the videos lately. We were going gangbusters there, and now it seems like a lot of people are not seeing them. This happened last year too, and then all of a sudden in July, someone said, I mean, several people said, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're back. I missed you. And I'm like, back? I didn't go anywhere. It's YouTube. It's YouTube being YouTube. It's fine, but catch up when you can. There's a lot of videos up there, and we will see you over this week. Back next weekend, Memorial Day weekend next weekend, so I don't know when we'll post, but we'll see. Anyway, happy gardening. Thanks for following along. Have a great day. See ya.